Okay, so it's 9:30. Let me just find my watch maybe. Doesn't seem like I have it. Okay, I might just be with a glance at my computer then. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's do our usual warm up. Okay, starting from a march. Okay, so stay tall, shoulders relaxed. Okay, swinging from the arms and the shoulders if possible. Okay, use as much support as you need. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, feel free to skip it. You can always just kind of keep going back to this march if there's anything you cannot do or don't feel comfortable doing. Okay, let's move our neck and spine. Okay, starting off from looking downwards, breathing out, shoulders relax. Okay, rounding your back slightly. Keep breathing in, just the opposite, shoulders back, heart up to the ceiling. Okay, and slowly exaggerate the motion a little bit if you feel comfortable. Okay, so suck it in your stomach a little bit, breathing in, arching our backs a little bit more. Okay, so let's see if you can open up the hand as well. Okay, and then when we stay open of our shoulders, okay, and we're just going to look left and right. Okay, slowly pull our hands to be slightly further back, fingers slightly back as well. Okay, go as low as you need to. Hands does not have to be too high up. Just focus on pulling our shoulders back a little bit more, fingers back as well. Okay, so let more people in. Okay, a little bit of side bending. We're just gonna have one hand like this, like a teapot. Okay, and we're gonna lean ahead towards the open side. Okay, and you can just kind of alternate between the two sides. Okay, only tilt your head as much as you feel comfortable. See if you can press your hands out a little bit as well. Maybe close the hand a little bit on the closed side. Okay, just 3 to 5 times per side. Okay, and coming back down for a second, relaxing our shoulders. Okay, let's go into more rotation. We'll start our feet for a second. Let's turn our entire body. Okay, the spine, the hips, and our feet as well. Okay, we're going to continue rotation, but we're going to reach a little bit lower, okay, and coming back up a little bit. Okay, so move your gaze a little bit. Okay, going from a little bit lower to a little bit higher. Open the shoulders. Okay, turning ahead, gaze if it's okay for you. Okay, same thing on the side. We reach low, a little bit lower towards the hips. Okay, and opening it up. Okay, focusing on opening the shoulders a little bit more. Okay, breathing out. Breathing in, shoulders gonna be a little bit higher. Okay, a little bit more side bending. Gonna reach up, palms up. Keep breathing in, reaching above our head. Okay, across the midline. Okay, slowly see if you can reach a little further off to one side. Okay, feeling our weight shifting from one foot to the other. Okay, so let's stop our feet and hips a little bit for a second. Okay, we're just gonna move our spine side to side. Okay, so you feel like your weight is centered right now. Okay, so equal between the 2 feet. Okay, it's just that your upper body is moving on top of it for a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit harder to control. Okay, let's add a little bit of rotation now. Okay, so we're gonna turn, open one hand up. Okay, close the other side. Okay, rotating through the shoulders and the arms. Okay, try to separate it to two sides. Okay, so both arms kind of reach in the opposite direction. Okay, shoulders probably a little bit tight. So let's shake it off. Okay, maybe get our feet moving a little bit. We're just gonna open the shoulders from the back a little bit. So hands behind the pelvis or the low back. You're just gonna pull your shoulders back, puffing your chest up. Okay, and you're just going to open and then relax, and then pull. Maybe pause for half a second to a second. Okay, and relaxing in between. Okay, just 3 to 5 times. Okay, at your own pace. Okay, and let's just shake the arms out a little bit. So let's go kind of side to side. Okay, kind of open and close. So give yourself a hug and also try to pull your fingers back a little bit. Okay, let's go a little bit backwards. So kind of pointing our thumbs inwards. Okay, and let's go a little bit upwards. So bending the elbows. Slowly see if we can get our elbows a little bit higher up. Okay, bring our hearts up to the ceiling. A little bit of tension in the mid-back area. Okay, and relaxing for a second. Okay, a little bit more rotation. Let's get our elbows to stay towards our inside. Okay, and we're just pushing our hands out. Okay, let's do the opposite. We're going to reach into the armpits. Okay, elbows a little high up. Okay, you're going to reach the angles of the hands while keeping the elbows kind of up. Okay, your shoulders should be rotating kind of inwards or forward. Okay, and just the wrists. Okay, just the fingers. Okay, just do our best to just move each finger, focusing on pulling towards the back of the hand. It's okay if multiple fingers move at the same time. Okay, just make sure that the finger that we are trying to move is actually moving. Okay, and let's make a cat's claw. Okay, and also try to open them up as much as you can comfortably do. Okay, and relaxing the upper body, just go into the lower body, the basic hip circle again. Try to exaggerate the circle if you feel comfortable. Upper body can be relaxed. So you can kind of let it just hang kind of heavy or kind of dangle. Let it side bend. Okay, hinging movements. Okay. Moving from my hips, knees relatively straight, spine relatively long. And we're just reaching in and back up, but with a taller posture, a longer posture through the spine. Okay, 3 to 5 times. Okay, opposite direction, 1 foot forward. Okay, driving the hips forward, lifting our bow buckle up. Try to keep the back leg straight and maybe heel close to the ground. Use something for support as you need to. Okay, maybe a few times, the same thing on the other side. Okay, and toes kind of pointing more forward as well. Okay, on to the squatting movement. So legs armpit width apart, toes pointing out slightly, still hinging from the hips, but this time bending the knees a little bit more, knees tracking over the feet. Okay, just hovering over the feet. Okay, so still pushing your butt back. Okay, just this time your knees bend a little bit more. Okay, only go down as low as you feel comfortable. So it could be here, or it could be down here. Okay, whatever is comfortable for you, whatever is pain-free for you as well. Okay, but try to keep the spine long. Okay, in this position, in a tall kind of sitting position, you're just going to turn. Okay, and try to look towards the up hand. Okay, make sure your spine is long so that it can actually rotate. Okay, if it's slouched, it's very difficult to rotate. Okay, so lengthen your spine. Okay, and coming back up. Okay, and let's shake out the feet a little bit. So swing one leg front to back. Try to move from the hip joint, less from the spine. We tend to overextend as we kick back because most people are pretty tight in the front. Okay, and just the same thing on the other side. Okay, and let's go side to side. Okay, so once again, hold on to something if you need to. Okay, or you can just tap on the floor. Makes it easier to balance that way. Or you can also practice, let's try spreading the toes a little bit more apart, engaging your muscles in the foot, okay, so that you can be more stable as well. Okay, and same thing on the other side. Okay, so once again, you can tap, you can hold on to something. Okay, but if you can, try to spread your toes apart, engage your muscle of the foot by almost kind of cupping the floor with your foot, okay, so that you can create a stable base in order for our limbs to move well. Okay, so we cannot fire a cannon from a canoe. Okay, so we need a bigger boat, okay, or more stable boat in order to move well. Okay, and let's kind of bend the knees a little bit more. Okay, once again, take it as slowly as you need to if you have any knee issues. Okay, but slowly see if you can bring the heel a little bit higher up. Okay, moving the ankles. Okay, let's rock front to back a little bit onto our toes and heels. Okay, counterbalance with your upper body. Use support if you need to. Okay, let's have our feet now flat on the ground. Okay, engaging our foot muscles a little bit more. Let's try kind of leaning front to back. Okay, moving our body kind of like in a straight and as one unit. Okay, so you have your foot, your toes have to work a little bit harder as you lean forward to keep yourself from falling over. Okay, and don't go too far backwards, of course. Can't really do much to prevent ourselves from toppling backwards. Okay, other than kind of hinging when the hips are bending over. Okay, let's go side to side. Okay, just lifting kind of one side of both feet up. Okay, let's try the same thing. Okay, try to just check our balance. Okay, so see if you can have your feet a little bit closer apart. Okay, and maybe a small motion just side to side. Okay, just be more aware of where our center of balance is. Okay, and lastly, let's move our toes, wiggle our toes, lift our toes up, spreading apart. Okay, and shaking a little bit. Okay, I'm going to turn the fan on just for myself. If it's too loud, let me know. Hopefully the background noise is not too bad. Okay, so let's go into a 10-minute segment. Okay, feel free to rest, feel free to stop, slow down at any point. Okay, we just want to be slightly out of breath. Okay, so kind of like I'm talking, but I need to only say a short sentence and then take a breath in. Okay, that's roughly kind of moderate intensity. Okay, so just a little bit out of breath. Okay, so adjust your own pace. Okay, go faster if it's very easy for you. Go slower if it's too hard or if you feel too out of breath or too tired. Okay, but let's slowly bring up the pace. Okay, so once again, faster is always relative to yourself. Okay, so just faster for yourself. Okay, you don't have to follow my pace or the the pace of the others you see. Okay, let's start off easy. Let's just go forward and backwards. Okay, so kind of maybe check your surroundings first. Okay, make sure you're wearing non-slippery shoes or socks. Okay, nothing you can trip on, slip on. Okay, let's just do that first. Let other people in. Let's do that more people in. Okay, and if you feel comfortable, maybe slowly bring up the pace. Okay, so your pace can be different from day to day. So today I feel a little more tired, so maybe I'll go a little bit slower for myself. Okay, but you can all still go fast if you want. Okay, next one, let's just go side to side a little bit. Okay, so still starting off kind of easy. Okay, but it's still good practice to be able to move in different directions. Okay, especially kind of sidestepping. Usually we don't practice this a lot, maybe in our day-to-day. Okay, so keep going. Okay, and of course you can go faster if you want to. Okay, so either quicker steps, okay, or just bigger steps. Okay, whatever is okay for you. Okay, so I'm still slowly bringing up my pace, depending on how I feel. Okay, let's go kind of diagonal this. Okay, so try to see if you can keep facing forward. Okay, so I'm not turning sideways to go forward and back. Let's keep looking straight forward, but I'm going in a diagonal direction. Okay, so something maybe we don't practice a lot either. Okay, so keep facing forward, but your body is moving diagonally forward and back. Okay, let's try the other direction. So keep facing forward, but you're moving diagonally forward and back. Okay, so I feel a little more awake now. Maybe I'll just go a little faster for myself. Okay, let's just try to exaggerate movement a little bit, just reaching upwards with our hands, reaching upwards with our knees. Okay, maybe just elbow to shoulder height is probably safest because we're moving a little faster. Knees maybe at most hip height or just halfway there maybe. So kind of moderate range, moderate pace. The bigger your range of motion, the slower you probably has to be. Lots of people today. Okay, so I'm choosing for myself to go a little bit faster now. Okay, so next round, let's just go just 30 seconds, maybe a little bit quicker. Okay, and it's just a small range. Okay, maybe just a little bit quicker than before. Okay, your toes doesn't even have to leave the ground. Okay, you can be just kind of pumping your heels, moving your hands a little bit faster maybe as well. You feel a little bit more tension in your trunk area. Okay, because we are moving faster and your trunk has to work a little bit harder to stabilize. Okay, so either keep up the same pace or slow down up to how you feel. Okay, so let's kind of move in all directions, okay, but a little bit bigger step in between. So when you go just quick feet in between, okay, and then when you're ready, big step forward, quick step back. So be one quick step forward, be one bigger step sideways, one step back, step to the side. Okay, so it'll be quick feet in between. Okay, whenever you're ready, just move one direction, a little bit bigger, a little bit faster than before. Okay, feel free to switch directions, okay, or you can just kind of keep going a little bit continuously. Okay, so once again, either keep up the pace if it's a moderate pace for you, okay, or slow down. Use this time as an active break, okay, where you are still moving, but something that you can sustain. Okay, let's also do rotation again. So same idea, quick feet. Okay, whenever you're ready, just turn a little bit. Okay, if pause in between if you makes you feel dizzy. Okay, but see if you can just keep out the quick feet and in between, just do a quick turn. Okay, or once again, quick is relative to you. Okay, could be still a slower turn. Okay, but see if you can rotate. Okay, while keeping up the hands and the feet. Okay, so once again, active break. So either once again, slow down if you need to, or keep going if you want to. Okay, so next one. So maybe today is a little bit harder. So you're gonna keep out the feet moving, okay, but you're gonna see if you can widen your stance, okay, and coming back, widen your stance, come back. If you want to make this harder, squat down a little bit. So sit on a tall stool as you widen your feet. Okay, so be wider feet, okay, more narrow, wider. Okay, if you want, you can go a little bit lower, okay, and together. Okay, just at your own pace. Okay, so just whenever you're ready, then go in between. You can also just slowly kind of go between the two stands. Okay, or you can also just do quickly. Okay, completely up to you. Okay, calves probably feeling a little bit tired by now, just at the last 30 seconds. Okay, last one, we're just going to keep out the feet. Let's kind of keep it the same tempo. Okay, but we'll be reaching forward with the hands. Okay, and let's make it a little more complicated. So as you step, you're going to step forward. As you step forward, you're going to reach up. As you come back down, you're going to reach there. Okay, so step forward, reaching up. Step backwards, reaching a little bit lower. Okay, so maybe a little bit more coordination. Okay, so take this as slowly as you need to. Okay, so okay, if your back rounds a little bit. Okay, but you don't have to reach too low. Okay, and that was 10 minutes. So good job, everyone. I think that was a little quicker than our usual pace. Okay, let's keep our feet moving in some ways until we feel our heart rate coming back down. Feel our breathing coming back down as well. Okay, kind of notice maybe where you're still holding tension. So maybe our shoulders are still very tense. Okay, see if you can relax those areas. Okay, wherever they may be. Okay, do a weird dance to shake everything out if you want. Okay, so let's take a 2-minute break. Okay, keep moving if you still feel out of breath. Okay, so right now it's about 9:50, almost 9:56. Okay, so let's come back around 9:58. With a drink, maybe drink some water if you sweat it, or if you just even breathe a little harder. Okay, let's see everyone maybe in about 2 minutes. We'll be using the towel, so if you want to grab, if you have one, if you want to grab it, you can. You don't have to either. You can just follow along with your hands as well. Okay, so it should be almost time. Okay, so once again, okay, if you have a towel, you can use it if you want to. Okay, just push a little bit of weight in the hands. It's still starting off as slowly as you need. And still try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Still try to keep your posture tall. Let me slowly speed up a little bit. And if you can, try to breathe through your nose when it's not too intense for you. Okay, first one, let's just try to pick up the pace a little bit and move the hands a little bit quicker. Okay, so I feel like I'm going a little slower today just because once again I feel a little more tired. Okay, good. I thought my camera cut it out for a second. Okay, so adjust the pace. Okay, next one, just to warm up the shoulders again. So that's just our usual one where we flip it over behind the head, elbows to roughly shoulder height. Okay, and you're just going to be going back and forth. Okay, so go slowly as you need to. If you feel comfortable, see if you can slowly bring your elbows maybe a little bit higher. Okay, engage your mid back muscles to bring your heart up to the ceiling. Okay, so next one, same, so very similar, okay, but using one arm. Okay, we're just going to have kind of 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You're going to just be shifting your weight forward and back, and as you shift forward, you can lift it up, shift back, and just swing the towel downwards. Okay, so you can just think of move as you move forward, bring the flip it overhead. As you move back, flip it down. Okay, so you can either just kind of shift your weight front to back, okay, or you can actually kind of just take a step front to back as well. Okay, but you just could be so stepping back and forward and back might be the most natural, at least to me. in between. Next round, we're just going to do the same thing, but with the other hand. Okay, so just kind of move in some ways forward and backwards. Okay, so you move forward, you're going to lift it up. As you go backwards, you're going to swing it. Yeah, it could be either foot stepping forward. Okay, so I think I'm moving the same leg, so I'm going to switch. So usually a little safer for our shoulders if we are gripping something like a towel. Just because we're gripping, our shoulders naturally or reflexively tighten up a little bit as well. Okay, so it just helps you protect the shoulders a little bit to have something to be holding on to something. Okay, so next one, we're going to be doing up and down again. Okay, but this time we're just doing in a squatting stance. Okay, so feet are a little bit wider apart. You're going to swing in your towels between your legs. As you stand up, go a little faster. Try to launch the towel up with your hips and left with arms. Okay, so I'm trying to almost stand up a little quicker. Arms still help. Okay, but see if you can squeeze your butt muscle a little bit harder, a little bit faster. Okay, remember to hinge backwards, meaning push your butt back. Okay, and not necessarily bend your spine. Okay, but see if you can think of just really driving forward with the hips a little bit. Okay, a little bit faster, a little bit more power. Okay, use your hips, not so much your back. Okay, so let's try that one more time as well. Okay, so see if you can just squeeze, stand up a little more quickly. Okay, so that you can feel like you're long using hips and less of the arms. Okay, you can kind of swing your towel a little further faster on the way down if you want to go a little bit quicker. Okay, so still drive your hips forward. Think of standing up kind of quickly, and the towel should almost kind of fly up by itself. Okay, so I'm not really using my arms too much. Okay, but if you want, go a little bit faster. Okay, but I'm still launching the towel up with my butt muscle, my back of my thighs, a little bit of my thighs. Okay, so our hips is kind of the largest muscle in the body. Anytime we are lifting something or doing something faster, we really ideally want to be using our hips a little bit more and not just kind of a shoulder muscle, which is comparatively much smaller than our hip and leg muscles. Okay, so let's do almost the same thing, but it's a little bit more side to side. Okay, so starting from one side, going over to the opposite shoulder. Okay, slowly see if you can maybe squat down a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't have to be too close, so my knees don't bend too much. Okay, but I'm still trying to, when I feel comfortable, launch it up with a little bit more of a hips and driving through the ground, turning my feet, turning my hips to get the towel to fly up. Okay, so it takes a little bit of coordination to use the hips. Okay, think of sharpening slow with using our hip muscles and less of our arm muscles. Okay, and just the same thing on the opposite direction. Okay, so I feel a little bit out of breath, so I'll slow down a little bit here. Okay, so that I can still work a little hard, moderately hard in the opposite direction. Okay, so focusing on the upswing. Okay, push through the feet. Okay, remember to turn your toes in the same direction as what you are flinging the towel to. Okay, so the last one, either have a chair around so that you don't have to, so we kind of throwing the towel towards the floor. If it's too difficult, if you always reach down towards the floor, throw on a sofa, a chair. Okay, so it's something you can kind of bend down to reach, so but not all, you don't have to go all the way to the ground. I probably should have grabbed a bigger chair. Okay, but let's try to do the same thing, but this time just do a little bit harder on the ground or the chair. Okay, so I'm gonna do on the ground just because it's easier for me. Okay, so if you got any anger issues, maybe you can let it out now. Just think of throwing it on the ground. Okay, you can use your arms or you can bring your whole body into it if you want. Okay, so let's slow down a little bit now. If you still got angered, maybe chuck it a few more times. Okay, but let's slow down a little bit. Just keep moving your feet in some ways. Okay, even if you need to sit down, keep pumping your heels until you feel your heart race. Slowing down, your breathing slowing down. Okay, so let's check the time. Right now it's about 10:08. Okay, let's come back around 10 past 10. Okay, so once again, drink water, keep moving, etc. Also, if you're new, you don't have to do the whole 3 sets either. Just whatever you're comfortable with. If you're completely new, probably don't do the entire 30 minutes or the whole 3 sets. Okay, so almost time. Okay, just the same reminder, you don't have to go at the same pace. It's good to even just move. So for exercise, a lot of times consistency is actually more important than maybe how intense you go in one session. Even for things like losing weights, it is important to, on average, try to work a little more intensely. Okay, but long term, once again, is more important. Okay, so I'm just going to slowly pick up the pace for myself. So usually for exercise, you can think of it like going to high school or university or whatever. So in school, you have to finish a certain number of credits. Some people try to do it faster and try to take extra credits kind of each term or something like that. So yes, they are going to finish a little bit faster, but it's still going to take a couple of years because you're not going to go from 4 years to like 2 years for most people. It might still be like 4 to 3.5 or mostly 3. Okay, so long-term consistency more important than how fast you kind of go at each time. Okay, on average, we do want to maybe push ourselves a little bit, okay, but we don't need to push ourselves to the extreme all the time. Okay, so let's just try to go a little lower, okay, but this time let's just walk forward. Okay, so when we fling upwards, usually we use a little more muscles at back. When we kind of squat down a little bit more on the thighs, okay, remember to stick your bum out, knees still behind your toes, knees still tracking over the feet. Okay, how low you go, completely up to you. Okay, and give our legs a little bit of rest. Okay, let's do also kind of squatting motion, but more of a lunge. So we're gonna lunge sideways now. Okay, so it just means taking a bigger step out to one side, how large is up to you. Come back, go to the other side, come back. Okay, the lower you go, the harder it becomes. Still stick your bum out. Okay, so don't drive your knees forward. Stick your bum out. Okay, if you want, see if you can lunge a little bit lower. Okay, but from the side, my bum is still kind of sticking backwards. So I'm not overloading my knees. I'm also using my hips as well. Okay, you can go, go smaller steps or bigger steps. Okay, so still a little bit more thighs. Okay, next one, let's try to imagine we're almost be skating. Okay, so we're just going to be in a mini squatting stance. Okay, we're going to be reaching backwards, we're a little off to the side while in a lower stance. Okay, so we're a little bit low, but we'll be just kind of lunging backwards a little bit. Maybe move your arms a little bit if you want to. Okay, or you can, I don't know how to skate, so something like this. But anything, you can just keep your balance. Okay, I'm still have my bum out. Okay, I'm just taking a step back. Okay, and just kind of relatively backwards direction. So probably still feel a little bit more bum that time. Okay, let's try just forward and back. Okay, so this one, maybe don't try as hard. If you have knee problems, usually forward, you rely on a little more of a knee joint, thigh muscles, and when you go forward, backwards, more of our butt. Okay, but we step forward, kind of reach. It could be just a small step. Okay, or a bigger step. Okay, just still check your knee alignment. Okay, still maybe don't go as far if you have knee issues. Sometimes we change things up. As long as we're moving, it doesn't matter if we're walking, biking, or whatever, dancing. Okay, so let's just move one leg front to back. Okay, will be just lifting the knees in front. So just kind of tap. Okay, hold on to something probably if you need to. So from the side angle. Okay, so arms doesn't have to be too high up either. If you want to do it a little harder, if you have no back issues, you can see if you can get your elbow closer to your knee. Okay, but only if you have no back issues. Okay, and next round, just the same thing, just on the opposite hand and leg. Okay, so still and arm and knee a little bit closer together. Okay, if you feel comfortable, elbow pointing towards your knees. If you have no back issues whatsoever, kind of round your back slightly, maybe do a little bit of a crunch to get your knee to be even closer. Okay, so if you breathe really up, you might feel just a little bit of tension in your abdominal muscles. Okay, so let's do a rotation. We're going to be scooping something up and flinging it up. Okay, move through your feet. Okay, so feet stop moving. Okay, but okay, so toes maybe pointing up to either side. Okay, so turn the trailing foot as well. Okay, if you make it harder, reach a little lower and go a little high up. A little bit of squats and then setting up. Okay, but toes pointing out and turn the back foot. Almost done. Last minute. Okay, so the changing temperature can be makes it a little different as well. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for our body to get used to the higher temperature as well. Okay, so last one, let's keep it simple. Let's just kind of move our arms up and down the jumping jack motion. Okay, so elbows just to roughly shoulder height. Okay, and just kind of tap one foot up, next foot out. Need to fix my flooring so I don't keep tripping on this one spot. Okay, 5 more seconds. Okay, so that's it. Oh, so good job, everyone. Okay, as usual, still keep moving. Oh, thank you. I think we went a little bit faster. Or maybe I'm just more tired. Okay, so if you want to stay for just a usual stretch, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you can, if you feel like it, you can just stretch on your own as well. Okay, so just the kind of usual stretch, so we might need just a little bit of support. Let's start from the shoulders first. Okay, so it's just a usual shoulder stretch, just so that we can keep moving a little bit more until we feel like our heart rate has gone back down. And switch whenever you feel like it. Okay, so let's do the hips first. Okay, so just the same one from before. Okay, but focusing on lifting your belt buckle up to the ceiling. A little bit of tension, try to drive your heel down and backwards a little bit more until you feel stretch in the front of the hips. Okay, and not your back. Okay, if you feel in your back, you're over arching your back probably. Switch whenever you feel like it. usually it's good to also pay attention to which leg you like to start off with. Okay, so I usually start off with the secondary back. So I'm actually more loose. Actually, I'm a little more tense on this side because I always do the second for the second round. And usually for the second round, you don't try as hard or you don't spend as long. Okay, so sometimes it's good to switch which leg you start off with. So weightlifting, we sometimes say start off with your strong side, okay, and then follow with your stronger side. Okay, so we don't have a weak side, just we need, if there's a strong and a stronger side, okay, so start off with the one that is strong and then follow with the one that is stronger. Okay, just to kind of balance things out. So yeah, just the calf kind of stretch. Okay, and if you have something that does not shatter, you can always just, it's not a bad idea to also massage the kind of the bottom of your feet as well, but only if you have something that doesn't shatter. So this is a lacrosse ball. You can usually find, you can search for massage ball, you probably find something as well. A golf ball probably is a little too hard. Tennis ball probably a little bit too squishy. Okay, but something you can consider. Okay, so I see we're still a little bit over time. Okay, but good job, everyone. Thank you for coming. See everyone next time. Yep. See you next time.